Charge of perjury after she allegedly lied under oath during the 2017 inquiry into the SASSA grant crisis. For more on this story, let's cross live now to SABC News reporter Abongile Dumako. Abongile, you were in court this morning. What transpired?
Certainly. Good morning to you, Desiree, and for all viewers. Surprise, surprise, surprise. The trial has now been postponed to tomorrow yet again, which really didn't sit well yet again, not only with the defense of Bathabile Dlamini, the former Minister of Social Development, but also the magistrate herself, Betty Kumalo. She says she doesn't understand the logic behind the fact that witnesses who were supposed to come from KZN and Limpopo that were supposed to have been arranged in terms of logistics, accommodation and transport a while ago didn't really see the day of light, saying that it's a failure, in fact, on the side of the state. We've seen the state prosecutor, Jacob Sirope, saying that, in fact, there's been some challenges when it comes to having to transport these witnesses. Guess what? The same story was given today that as was given yesterday by the state as to basically why we couldn't start with this trial, where we were expecting these two witnesses to take to the stage. And of course, Mr. Pahlane, who is now who is now the defense, one of the defense team for Bathabile Dlamini, is saying again, this is just an abuse of state resources, having allowed people to come here, knowing very well that the witnesses won't make it on time. However, I am joined by the regional spokesperson for the NPA, Pindim Jonondwane here. Sis Pindi, a very good morning to you, and of course, thank you so much for your time. Excuse me, sir. Ma'am, why the delay now?
We had administrative issues as the state. We faced challenges in bringing the witness before court. The court has given us another opportunity to work with our stakeholder, the Department of Justice, to try and ensure that the witness is before court by tomorrow morning.
But certainly, defense team for Bathabile Dlamini not happy with what transpired in court. They're talking about abuse of state resources. What does the NPA say to that?
Well, it is unfortunate that when such challenges happen, they will obviously feel prejudiced as the accused in the matter. We intend also as the state to bring this matter to finality. We know that she has a right to a speedy trial, but unfortunately some of the things are out of our control as the NPA. Remember that these bookings, your flights and accommodation bookings are not directly done by the NPA. So we rely on our stakeholders to do those functions for us. So we have tried our utmost best as the NPA, including using technology as well, to try and do some of the consultations with the witnesses. And at some stage we could not get hold of the witnesses through their cell phones and the contact information that they have given us as the NPA. So we believe that as the NPA we have tried our utmost best to ensure that come this day of trial, all parties are ready.
And certainly there were reports, Pindi, that these witnesses might be taking a short left, a bit skeptical to come and give evidence to this court here on this trial. Is that true? If so, what's going to be done in as far as their protection is concerned?
Firstly, it's important to understand that our case is based on the record of the inquiry proceedings. So the bulk of that information has already been tendered in at court as part of the evidence for this trial. So our case is mainly reliant on that transcribed record. Then we had witnesses that we called as the state to come and corroborate that transcribed record of the inquiry proceedings. So whether or not witnesses come forward to come and testify, we still have a case as the state. The prima facie evidence has already been presented in court. So now what needs to happen is for this last witness to come and testify. After they have testified, They'll be cross-examined, and then we'll be closing our case as the state, and then we'll move over to the defense case. And with regards to their protection, we only are allowed to give protection to those who are state witnesses. So, for instance, the witness that we consulted with yesterday and decided that we can no longer use her as a witness as the state. She is now a defense witness. So her protection has got nothing to do with us as the state.
Pindim Jonondwani, thank you so much for your time.
You're welcome.
There you have it, Pindim Jonondwani. She is the spokesperson for the NPA here in Gauteng, actually saying that, in fact, on their side as NPA, they've gone into lengths to make it a point that there is no hiccups or delays that will see another postponement taking place. 2 consecutive days, remind you that this case has been postponed. What's going on? We are here to find out. But definitely, the magistrate, Betty Khumalo, is not happy with how the state is approaching this case so far. But Bathabile Dlamini herself, in the name of her lawyers, Mr. Pashlane, saying that in fact this is just unacceptable. You can't set 2 days for a trial a month ago, and yet a month later there are no witnesses to take to the stand and give their version of events of what happened to this 2017 crisis when it comes to grants payments to the millions of South Africans who are dependent on social development for those grants. Desiree Chauke, it's back to you in Auckland Park.
Thank you so much to my colleague there. Now to this